We're going to start off with a little bit of oil. Now I'm going to put half of each of star anise, cloves, cinnamon sticks, and cardamom. Now I'm going to use one whole sliced onion. Stir it until it gets a little brown. Put 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Now I'm going to add the meat and cook it until it turns brown. A teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of red chili powder, a teaspoon of turmeric powder, teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, and finally 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. Now mix this well. Here, you want to see a nice dark color. I'm going to put in some coriander, mint, and green chili. You don't want to use all of it because we're going to use some of it later. I'm going to put 1 glass of water. Now I'm going to put the lid on, let this cook for about 25-30 minutes. Now while the meat's getting cooked, we're going to start by chopping our green chilies. Now finely chop 1.5 onions. Now I'm going to cut about 6 to 8 tomatoes. Now we're going to start with some oil. Now I'm going to put the rest of the spices in. And I also added some shazira. Once these have toasted a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add my onions. Now I'm going to fry these until they are soft and golden brown. I'm going to take about half of the green chilies, put them in the oil now, and save the rest for later. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to speed up the process. Now put 1 heaping spoon of ginger garlic paste. Make sure you keep stirring so that the ginger garlic paste doesn't stick to the bottom. Now that the onions are soft, I'm going to put my tomatoes in. Now you want to cook these until the tomatoes are completely soft. Now let's go ahead and put the rest of the spices in. Put a little bit of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon garam masala, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder, a pinch of turmeric powder. Now I'm going to put the lid on and let it steam. Now once you see the oil on the top starting to bubble, that's your sign to put in the yogurt. Now you want to cook this until it changes color or until you see the oil coming to the surface and starts bubbling again. Not water, but the oil. This is a blend of coriander, mint, and green chilies. I'm going to put a little bit of it right now and leave a little bit for later. Now this is the meat that we cooked. You can see how tender the meat is. Now you can see the oil bubbling on the surface. This is the sign to go to the next step, which is putting in the meat. Now you have to be very gentle so as to not break the meat even more. Now you want to let it sit until all the flavors come together, and then we put in our rice. Now I've soaked this rice for about 4 hours in water. Now I'm going to put this in the meat. Now I'm going to start adding water to it. A general rule of thumb is if you use 1 cup of rice, you want to put 2 cups of water. But I'm going to show you a trick of how to measure water without using cups. Now the trick is if you're moving your spoon and you feel a lot of resistance, then you don't have enough water, like so. Now you can see how easily I can move my spoon through it. That means you have enough water. This is the point where you put the rest of your herbs in. Now this is the juice of 3 limes that we squeezed before. I'm going to put it in. Now mix it well and check for salt one more time. Now just about when the water is starting to dry, put the homemade ghee in. Now I'm going to put the gas on low and let it cook for about 40 minutes. Now I'm going to get started on the yogurt dressing. I'm going to use half an onion, some tomato, and a piece of cucumber. Some yogurt in it. 1 teaspoon of salt, a nice dash of black pepper, now put this in the fridge until it cools down or you're ready to eat. Now the big reveal. Time for a taste test. So good.